Hey, what's up YouTube? How you guys doing out there? We are doing good here. Uh, Wanted to give you guys an update on what I just did in my pond today. So, long story short, I woke up this morning and first thing I do is I always check my YouTube channel, see if I've had any new subscribers or likes or comments. And I did have a comment. I had I'm not going to say his name, but he left me a comment on one of my older pond videos, and it said, "Nice pond, uh, but that waterfall tray isn't enough filtration. You need a better filter setup." And it said, "Good flow rate, nice pond, man." And I thought, all right, well, that's nice of him, give me a compliment. He didn't know me, I didn't know him, but it was a nice compliment. But I got to thinking, and I was like, well, something, maybe he's right. In the past, I did have a filter before I built all this. It was just like a small, like half this size, and I did have a filter, and the water was a lot clearer. You could definitely see the fish, you could see the rocks at the bottom. And when I decided to make it bigger like it is now, I did away with the filter because I thought by having more plants I would have a natural filtration instead of a mechanical filtration. But as time went on, I noticed the water got a little bit darker, and whenever I would go to scoop leaves out, it had that black sludge on it, just from, I guess, all the fish poo. So I got to thinking, I was like, well, maybe that guy's onto something. So what I did today is I got on Facebook Marketplace and I found that 20-gallon food grade barrel is what it is. We'll walk over here and look at it, and I'll show you guys what we got going on. But it's basically just a food grade barrel with a screw on lid. All right. And then I took my hole saw kit and I drilled a hole here and one back over there on the back side. Might be able to show you a little better from the front. I don't want to walk back there because I already fell once. I ain't looking to do it again. That's what it looks like from the front. I purposely turned it because it's got a handle on this side and a handle on the back side. But I purposely turned it that way. That way whenever I walk over this way, I can just pick it straight up. And I can take it over the water hose and I can rinse it out and whatnot. But what I did, like I said, I took my hole saw kit and I drilled inch and a half holes, and then I ran my bulkhead fittings there and there. And if you watch my videos, you'll see that yesterday, where I had the pump coming up through the hose, this waterfall tray was sitting here in the middle, and it would just pump water in and back down the pond. There was no filtration other than the plants and everything. So what I did today is I filled the bottom up just a little bit above that bottom bulkhead. I filled it up with some white pea gravel, and I did that for two reasons. For one, anything at the bottom heavy, it'll get stuck in the rocks, right? The rocks will catch it. I do have some filtration pads in there. The rocks will catch it before it goes up into it. And I did the white pea gravel because that's how you can tell whenever it's dirty, right? Because you pour it in there and the rocks are white, and then when you go to empty it, if it's black, you know it needs to be clean. So that was pretty self-explanatory. If your rocks are dirty, your water's dirty, right? So, and then I went to Lowe's and I bought, I don't remember the size, but it was those custom fit or trim to fit, the HVAC filter kit, like the filters you put in your house for your air conditioner, your heater, but it was the big ones, and they were like $5. So I got two of them, and I didn't cut them. I just folded them up nice and neat, and I got them in there. That whole thing has got my filter media, which is those little filter pads, and so far it's working good. It does have a screw-on lid. I found some with the locking lid, but the problem with those is it doesn't have that rubber gasket inside the bottom of the lid right here. So whenever you go to lock it, water will still it'll still shoot out the sides or whatever. Now, when I first plugged it up, I did notice that I didn't have the lid on very tight, and it would start to drip water out the back of it. But I do have it on tight now. As you can see back here, there's no water dripping down the side. Before, you could see it running out and dripping off the handle right there. Those little water droplets on the bucket, that's just from where it was dripping. It's starting to dry now. One thing that I did notice, once I put it together, I plugged it up, and water was coming out the back of it, right? So I unplugged it, unscrewed the lid, but because it had all that water in there, and when you unplug it, the water goes down. Well, the suction from the water going down created a vacuum. And boys, I'm gonna tell you what, I could not get that lid off. I had to take a screwdriver and a hammer because it was sucking down on the lid, and it was causing me not to unscrew it. So, me being me, I thought the Walls way, how we're gonna fix that, is we'll drill a little hole in the top of it. So I put a little 1/8 inch hole, that way air could escape. Problem with that is that whenever the water would fill up, where I got my bulkhead on the other side, it's on the other side, but it's about halfway. You see it's skinny, and then it tapers out, and then it gets fat. I got it right there in the middle of the fat end, but on the back side. Basically, I put my bulkhead too high, because as the water would go up, it would keep coming up, and it would shoot up that little hole right there I put on the top. And I thought, well, hey, that ain't no good. You know, you're gonna have a leak, you know. So I ended up putting, it's like one of them little 3M sticky pads or something. Cut out a circle, I stuck it to it, and you can see where it's raised. And then I put some duct tape over it to keep it pressed down. And then on the inside, I've got silicone, RV silicone, whatever it is, that black stuff you use on boats. That worked really well. I let it sit for about 20 minutes, and when I put the lid back on, I did the same method to getting it off. I used my screwdriver and a hammer, and it is tight. It's not leaking. I've checked my fittings here and on the other side, and it is not leaking. And I moved my waterfall tray to the corner. I thought you'd be able to see it better. I thought it looked better that way. So far, I kind of like it. You know me, I might change it in a week or two, but the only thing that really matters is that it's holding water, right? Because like I said before, you don't want to be pumping water outside of your pond and then it drips somewhere. You come home from work, and you know, after about 8 hours, it'll drop 3-4 inches. Now this pond is about, I almost say about knee deep right here in the middle, this whole area, and then it kind of tapers up to about 4 or 5 inches up there, just barely enough where you can kind of see the rocks. I see the rocks down there, but just barely enough to where the fish can go in there and swim and everything. Matter of fact, there's fish right there. See them? Yep, look at them. I see them right there in the middle. Told you guys there's fish in there, but I was hoping I'd get it on camera so you wouldn't think I was a liar. But yeah, so far so good. Today is Sunday. Tomorrow's Memorial Day. I am grateful to have tomorrow off, well, for a lot of reasons, but for this project's sake, I'm glad to have tomorrow off. That way I can see if anything has drained or not, or if we got any leaks. This little pump right here, it's now don't quote me, but it's either 500 or 550 gallon per hour. I can't remember, but it's one of the two. But I had it originally behind the waterfall tray, and it would just help push those aeration bubbles out, right? When I had it over here, it just kind of push it. Well, by putting the waterfall tray in the corner back there, you know, now you got aeration right there. So I thought, well, let's put it right here. And it's kind of hard to tell, but now you got a swirling effect, right? That's going to help stir the water. That's going to, in turn, help break up all the algae, or not algae, but all the, I guess, the fish poo. And then you know, as it breaks it up, it's going to get sucked into the big pump right here, which is 2,100 gallons per hour. It's going to suck it through this hose. A bunch of it will get caught in the pea gravel, and as the water rises, the rest of it will get caught in my filter media. I don't know what that stuff's called, to be honest with you, but it's those filters you put in your house, but it didn't have the cardboard trim around it. It was just a big bag. Hell, I can show you real quick. I got a mess over here. This is all my trash. This is something else I was going to show you guys. Don't look at them pole noodles, because that did not work. All right. It's the Filtrete. I kind of ripped it, but it was the custom fit it might have a size on it. Yeah, right here we go. 20 by 30 by 1. They were $5 at Lowe's. I bought 2 of them. And then I stopped at the dollar store and I bought 3 at Dollar Tree. I bought 3 of these pool noodles for $1. They had red and blue. I decided to go with red because my filters were blue. And I thought, how cool would it be on Memorial Day to have red, white, and blue going on with my filter. But I do not recommend using these. In theory, they did sound good because it's styrofoam. You know, a lot of your debris and your junk that you want to filter out, it will get caught in that. But the thing with these is once I started filling it up with water, they wanted to rise up. And I didn't want to have to put a bunch of rocks and bricks in my filter to keep it pressed down. So I just did away with those. We're just going to trash those. That is 3 of them I cut up. And I was able to get 4 out of each one. But it's not that big of a deal, right? We only lost, what, $3 on that. So I think we'll be all right. But we don't have red, white, and blue no more. We just got white and blue. But overall, I am kind of happy with it. Looks like a little stormtrooper setup. Kind of got like a Star Wars thing going on. But yeah, it basically, you know, you got this pump pushing the water this way, and as it comes around, it catches what in turn will be the clean water coming out of the filter. And then, you know, you just swirl the water up. You're mixing clean with dirty, and eventually it'll get sucked into the pump. It'll go right back up through here into the pea gravel at the bottom, and as the water rises, it goes into that filtration, or filter media is what I call it. But yeah, there went a fish right there. See them right there? Got some goldfish going on. And that's another thing. They like that current pump. Anytime you can have the water moving, they like to swim against it. If I had to take an educated guess, I believe it's good exercise. They do like to swim against the current. You can kind of see them. I don't want to get too close and scare them. You can see one down in here. But yeah, she's running good. I definitely got more bubbles going on. And I thought it was a good idea to have my little, again, I call that my current pump because it does create a current. I like it right here because now I got this swirling effect. I was wanting to put it back there underneath the waterfall, kind of hide it and have like this big roaring river coming this way kind of. But the thing of it is once that sits for a day or two, it'll start collecting leaves, and it's kind of hard to get back here to clean it out every couple days. So I wanted it somewhere I could get to fairly easy. But I watched probably 50 videos on these DIY filters, and I didn't want to spend hundreds of dollars on one off of Amazon or from a pet store. So I thought, well, you know, let me watch a couple videos and see how it works, and hell, I should be able to make my own, right? So that's what I done. We're going to leave it like this. We're going to let it run for about a week or so. Next weekend, I'm going to unscrew it, and I'll take a picture or a video maybe of all the stuff that we've caught in there. So hoping it works out. That being said, I'm going to call it a day. It's getting pretty warm. It's Sunday, day of rest. I don't want to do too much work today. So I do greatly appreciate you guys watching. I hoped any of this could have been helpful. As always, you know, please like, share, and subscribe. Feel free to comment. I do appreciate the comments because that's where this idea come from. Again, I'm not going to mention the guy's name, but if you're watching, that was very helpful. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much, and I will catch you guys later on. Thanks. Have a good day.